Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for coming today. I truly appreciate your presence. And before we begin, if everybody could stand, please, I would love for you to stand. And what we're going to do is just get rid of all the busyness, because I know, like even for myself, when I'm in one space, sometimes my mind is somewhere else still and thinking of all the exciting things and what I've already experienced and what I have to do when I leave here. But for right now, I'd like to just capture you for 60 little minutes of your precious time. So what we're going to do is just kind of release all the energy that we've experienced today. So just take your hands up, bend your knees up, and just let it out. Just let it out and feel really good. 3 times. I do everything 3 times. And then just kind of sway and let it go. Let it go. Thank you. Please sit. So as I say always, hello beautiful. If someone hasn't told you that today, hello beautiful, because you are beautiful from the inner self to your outer self, and that aura reflects to all those around us. So always, as my mother says, keep your head high and smile. And when you pass somebody, that person in return will just automatically send you the receiving smile as well. So welcome everyone. Thank you for being here today. Truly, truly grateful. Who am I and why am I here today? And so I am an eco-conscious interior designer. I've been designing, I think, before I was actually born. And I was brought up in the environment of everyone doing construction, taking down walls, rebuilding walls, and taking something and transitioning it into something else to make it something. And I've carried those basic principles with me today. And I still get really excited when I can transform objects and use them for something else. I'm just like you. I found my purpose. My purpose is to share with others. I was an eco-interior designer professionally in the 1980s, and then I transitioned to do feng shui because I felt as though I wanted to really embrace the environment and the natural aspects. And this was a long time ago, before it was even acceptable. My architectural professors looked at me as like, what are you talking about? And then I continued on with bobiology, which is about buildings as living, breathing organisms. And it's like people and our little furry friends. It's the energy that we give our home to the equivalent of what we give to living matter as people in exchange with our furry friends. There's so much substance there, and it's what type of energy do we give? And there's different types of energy. Is it the beautiful energy or is it not beautiful energy? And our house receives that as well. So many times I'm sure that you've experienced this and you've walked into a room either in your home or in someone else's home, and no one was in that space, but when you entered the space, you felt the energy from there. And how was the energy? Was the energy making you feel really welcome? Or did it make you feel as though I can't enter this space, but not consciously knowing why? And that's about energy. So we're going to talk about energy today as well. I just became an author this year in March, and I'm really excited about it because I can reach and share and exchange with more people than just several clients at a time. So looking forward to this journey as well. How can I help you in 60 minutes or less, and then beyond when you leave the space? So I am an eco-conscious interior designer, and I focus on that as well as eco-conscious home and eco-conscious life. To me, everything's interconnected. So it's as when you leave, how they used to say, when you go to work, you leave everything at home. Does everybody remember that? Yeah, well, you can't, because it's ingrained in us. Our family is a part of us. Life experiences are a part of us. But what we do have a choice over is what we carry with us, okay? So I would like to show you how to enfold in rhythmic harmony and manifest that into every area of your life. So what we're going to do is transform your home into an eco-friendly haven to manifest what? What's everybody looking for? Regardless of what we do and where we are in our life, it's inner joy. And when we have that inner joy, everything seems to flow with beauty and purpose. And when you don't have that, stuff happens. And then other people around us energetically feel that. So we're going to manifest your home. We're going to release, renew, revitalize. And what does all that mean? Does anybody know? For each of us, we would all have a different description, and that's the beauty of our individuality. So release. Release is to let go of what does not serve us. And what does that mean exactly? Well, it's with people. There could be people in your life that no longer help you walk the journey of joy. And they're the people that we have to acknowledge and say, okay, you know, we were friends for this long, you were part of my life for this long, it's time to let go. It could be an object, a piece of furniture. And it's like, oh, so what is attached to that furniture? Is it a memory from a previous relationship, whether it was a friend, a significant other, spouse? When you identify that and you realize, oh, I need to let this go because it's affecting me in other areas, then you let it go. So releasing comes in different ways. Renew. Again, renew. We can't separate our inner selves from our environment. So take something that you love that may be broken or outdated, and you repurpose it and you refresh it and you give it new life. So it's renew. And again, that's with people, that's with objects, that's with anything in your home. It could be a room, it could be just taking a fresh coat of paint and putting it on your wall. You're going to renew this. And what it's going to do, how does that make you feel? How does it make other people feel? And there's so much that goes into that color, the color of choice. Revitalize is to take something new and make you feel like full of zest. Wow, this makes me feel fabulous. Let's say you're out one day and you see something and you feel that energetic connection, like, oh, you know, I've been searching and searching and this is what I've been looking for. And you take it home and you put it in your place, and it's like, it really transforms the space and how you feel. And when you walk past it, that energy goes with you. So release, renew, revitalize. The 3 R's. So the 3 R's, release. Again, here we are. So release is to set free. This little bracelet, this came from inspiration for me when I was writing, and it said, you need to create a bracelet. And this bracelet is a representation of empowerment and unity and love for everyone, everywhere. And again, it's a symbolic representation. This is just one thing. You can have your own thing. But again, everything that we have is about how does this affect me, and how does this affect my energy, and how does it affect the space that I'm in. One of the areas I focus on is the bathroom. So I wrote this book. And it's really about how to live a beautiful, eco-conscious, healthy living lifestyle. And people say, why the bathroom? So as a designer, I love to support others and in my genre. So I have a whole library of books from other designers. And I look at these books and they're absolutely beautiful. And I thought one day, wouldn't it be nice just to have a book that focused on one room at a time? Because here I am, I'm a designer, and sometimes I feel overwhelmed. Like, how can I do all this and be in all these rooms at one time? So starting with one room, and I give you the principles and all the basics, the foundations, to take this information, and you can apply it to every room in your home, not just the bathroom. I've met some other authors on my journey, and one of the authors I met a long time ago was Og Mandino. Does anyone know of Og Mandino? He was an inspirational self-help author, and I had the good fortune of meeting him one day in person, and it was a beautiful experience. And I found in his book a quote that I have that I put in my book, and it's all about beauty and manifesting. And it says, remember then the 4 laws of happiness and success. Count your blessings, proclaim your rarity, go another mile, use your power of choice, and one more to fulfill the other 4, do all things with love. You are the greatest miracle in the world. And our home is a reflection of us, and we together are beautiful. So purpose. So in here, so what I've done is I've taken feng shui and incorporated it throughout the book seamlessly. And one of the things is when you create a space, why am I doing this? Why do I select the materials that I'm selecting, the colors that I'm selecting? Who's going to use this room? And why am I putting this picture here? I designed one of my small little half baths, and I thought, what am I going to do with this space? What am I going to do with these 4 walls? And I saw these tiles, and they were in the rubbish pile. And I thought, oh my gosh, I love these tiles. They're so beautiful. They're natural. Let me pass one around. Let me take all these broken pieces, and I took them out and I put them on the floor, and I just created a design using the tiles. And they're all natural stone. And I put them on the floor, and I thought, wow, this was my inspiration. This was my purpose on how I was going to move forward and create this space. And I thought, who is going to use this space, and what am I going to put into here? So it all began with this. So if you have a room that you need to redo or repurpose, ask yourself, why am I choosing these materials, and what are the materials? And I share with you personal preferences of companies that I found along the way that really focus on eco, on materials that don't off-gas or have VOCs. Do you know, everybody know what VOCs are? Because volatile organic compounds, and they affect us. So for example, when you go to paint a room and it says like low VOC, there's still volatile organic compounds in there. And what happens is they off-gas, and they off-gas for 5 years. That's a really long time. So when you go into a room, let's say it's for an elderly person that's not well, or a little child that's just a baby that's developing its lungs, and you go in and you paint the room, and all of that smell that you're smelling is off-gassing, and we're breathing it in. All the particulates go into the air. It's not healthy for us. So I have a little solution to that as far as, well, what do you do? So you can actually go out and buy a regular can of paint, and what you do is you choose an essential oil with purpose. And it's like, well, what is it that I want to manifest? How do I want to feel when I'm in this space? Joyful? Do I want to feel joy, or do I want to feel like abundance? What do I want to bring into my life? What do I want others people to feel? So since I have joy, we'll talk about joy. So I'd take joy, and you would take this and just put, I use a whole bottle in a can of paint, and just put that in. And then I do a little bit of feng shui, a little bit of intention. Well, what is it that I want to manifest in here? So as I'm pouring the joy into the paint and I'm stirring, I'm asking, what is it that I want to receive? How do I want to feel? How do I want others to feel? And you put that in the paint. And this you will smell, and all the other volatile organic compounds will be counteracted. So it's just one little thing that you can take home with you, and the next time you go to paint, make sure you have pure oils, no synthetics. Just take that, and you can do, they say like 35 drops. It depends on the strength. Use your nose to smell.
What's the best thing to do if the walls are already painted?
What's the best thing to do when the walls are already painted when you move in? Excellent question. So what you do is you can actually diffuse. It depends on what the issue is within the space. So you can take Thieves, or there's another oil. I use Thieves because some of the other ones are just, Thieves. Yeah, and Purification is the other one. So you can take either one of those oils, and then you can just diffuse those for 72 hours in your space. Okay, and then when you clean, and we'll go into that, and when you clean, that also makes a big difference on what you use in your space. So again, designing with purpose. So it's about layering, choosing your style. What is my style? I help you and I empower you with the information to say, what is my style? What do I want to do in this space? And you will do this once you learn the basic principles, and to be able to go in there and transform that into something really beautiful. So in this one little room, not only did I do that, but I took, and again, it's a mixture of old and new. So I had this little frame piece of artwork from, oh my goodness, over 30 years ago, and when your daddy was little, actually. And I fell in love with it, and I still love it to this day. And I place it underneath the window instead of on a wall. It's a single window, and it's just, it's a little piece of artwork that's in there. And it says, love transcends all time. It's a voice inside the heart that never stops singing. So when I'm in there, or someone else is in there, it's about embracing this, because you see it. You can't help but see it. It's right there. In the powder room, I took these little glass, it's flat on the bottom, so it's like little glass round objects with color, and put them in the bathroom sink and formed a heart. So every time someone goes in there, you can't help but see it. And it's so beautiful, and it has significance, and it's so empowering. So again, it's purposeful. What is it that you want to bring into people's lives? Out with the old. Out with the old, and that is to release. So I don't have any toxic chemicals to share with you because I don't own any, and I refuse to go out and buy any, but you can all visualize. So what is in your cabinets? Do you have Clorox in there? Do you have 409? Do you have those aerosol sprays that promise you that it's going to be like citrusy and make you feel fabulous? Well, take a look at the ingredients. What I've done is I've done the research for you, and I put it all together in simplistic form to show you what to look for. So every time you go to reach for that can and you see a symbol on there, you're going to know what that means, and it's going to say, do I really want this? You know, or do I want to be mindful and not do that and go for something that's really safe and healthy? So I've given you formulas that you can do and go into your cupboard and make your own. So you want to get out with, be done with the old, what doesn't serve you. And again, it saves you time, it saves you space, it saves you money, and the air becomes breathable. So when I was writing my book, I used the word breathable. And I was said, you can't use that. It's in here 1,000 times, and it's not even a word. You can't use it. And I'm like, well, I just made it a word. It's in there, and it is in there. Because there's a difference between, yes, everybody take a breath. Breathing, right? But we can't see what we're breathing. The air inside of our buildings are more toxic than the air outside. But we can counteract that naturally. So what do? So you can take all of those chemical products and toss them. Okay, there's a way to do that as well. And then introduce new. And so one of the things I have out here, and you can come to my table and just take a smell, I use 2 products in my entire home to clean. And one actually removes mold, removes all the buildup, removes everything. That does it all. And then the other one goes in and cleans all the floors and the carpets and everything else. And when you walk in, you feel good. When my little puppies go to lick their paws, I'm not concerned. When the grandbabies are on the floor playing, I'm not concerned when they're playing with toys and their hands go into their mouth as they do. Or when people touch things and they go somewhere else, because everything is safe, it's plant-based, and it's healthy for us. And when we breathe it in, we're breathing good air. So there's a difference between being able to breathe and breathing breathable air. And I can help you with specifics with all of this. And in with the new, again, as we discussed, taking in all of the new, identify your approach. So how you do something, it's very important. Again, it's about developing your own personal style. So when I go into people's homes, I have a little checklist, and it's like, I ask you questions like, who are you? Who's using this room? What do you plan to do with this room? And I give you all the tools to do that so that you have such clarity on what you want to do in this space. And how you approach it matters. Are you going in with a clear mind? Like, I want to do this. Or are you going in with, oh, I have to do this? There's such a difference, because then that energy of really not wanting to do it, but you're doing it and not with purpose, transfers into what you see when your project is complete and how others will feel and yourself when you walk into this room. So energy always is playing in this. So identify your approach, have clarity with your approach, write it down, and remember that you have value. Clearing the clutter. Clearing the clutter is to revitalize. Clutter is so huge, and I call clutter feeling. It's the difference between stress. If I use that word, what would happen? It would plant a seed. Anxiety, it would plant a seed. So you won't find a negative word in my book. So, but all of those mean clutter feeling. So when you have a clutter feeling inside of you, what do? Well, I've experienced clutter feelings. Has anybody else experienced clutter feeling? Yeah, you too, yeah. So all ages, right? Raise your hand, clutter feelings. So, so I went through some stuff, And I thought, how am I going to handle this? And I thought, okay. So I was driving in my car one day, and I felt it coming on. And I had my ritual already ready. And people laugh at me when I tell my ritual, but it works for me. And you'll find your own. So I was driving, and I felt that clutter feeling coming on. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I put my window down, and I put my hand to my head, and I extracted it visually from my mind out into the universe 3 times. Swish, swish, swish. I no longer wanted it. Reached down into my little satchel, pulled out my essential oil for calming, peace and calming I use. And it's like, what is it that I want to bring back in? And I recentered myself. So we all have our special technique, but when I reached for my oils, that's what helped me get beyond my clutter feelings to a place where I feel really good. So before it comes on, I'm already ready and I'm prepared. So you want to be prepared. Clutter feeling in your environment. In my bathroom, I had this little dress, it's not even a dresser, this little armoire. And I have all my little things in there for the day to get ready. And it was right next to my sink. And every time I went to brush my teeth, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm bumping into this thing. So this little thing became a really big annoyance. I'm like, oh. So picked it up one day and took it across and put it on the other side of the room. The clutter feeling was all gone. So it's sometimes what we have to do is just take a single object and shift it. Just shift it. And it affects our whole energy level. So just take it and move it. Yin and yang of organization and harmony. So when we have clutter, it really does affect us on an emotional level because we're thinking and we're not really organized within our minds and within our environment. Does anybody experience that? You have...
I can stand everything on my dining room table for exactly 2 days. On the 3rd day, it's got to go.
It affects you inside because you feel this emotional disarray
Yes.
within your being, and it's
You
just
feel
like,
cluttered.
you feel cluttered. So it's like, okay, this needs to go. When I do my regimen in the morning, so I have this little thing, my little toothbrush. Can I regress a second and tell you a little story about the toothbrush? Can I tell you? So everything, just for a minute, everything started from this toothbrush. Well, it wasn't this toothbrush, it was another toothbrush. And I was standing in my bathroom and I was brushing my teeth, and I had the water on, and then I turned the water off, and then I turned the water on, and then I turned the water off, and I do my little ritual. And I'm standing there and I'm thinking, wow, I'm watching the water swirl down the drain, and I'm thinking, I am really conscious of water. Is everyone else conscious of water? Do they use the hot water or the cold water? Do they let the water gush out the faucet, or do you turn it off in between when you're doing your teeth? And this is how everything came to be. And I realized when I stood there and I looked around that it's all of our senses that come into play when we're designing a space. It's what we see, it's what we hear, it's what we feel, it's everything. How we do things and put it together. So this little toothbrush was such an inspiration for me to be able to take you on this journey of how to let things go that no longer serve you, and how to introduce things that do serve you, and how to organize and let things go, and then how to design and conserve water. You would love, guys, you would love the chapter on water conservation because it's all about like getting your toolbox out, and women, we have ours too, and getting your toolbox out and seeing how can I not replace this item, but be able to fix this item to conserve water and to conserve money as well. So it's my little toothbrush. But anyway, so organization and harmony. So it's about purpose. So when you have your little ritual in the morning, and I know time is busy, so what do? So when you're done with one little thing, you take it and you put it away. It only takes a couple seconds or maybe a minute, and again and again. And what you realize is that everything then has order. And you don't have to go back and take the time to take an hour or take 2 hours or take half a day or a full day to be able to recreate the organization. You can have organization all the time. What I learned when I had written this book on the bathroom is that the bathroom has so much substance. It has so much value. And I didn't realize that until I actually started to write it. And the values learned in the bathroom have carried forth in every area of my life. And I'm sure if you did the little like exercise with it, you would discover that as well. So some of the values learned in this tiny little space that was shared by 7 people every day was that respect. We learned respect for ourselves and for other people, because we had to carry our things in and carry our things out. There was no storage. There was no place to put anything. So the next person that came in also had to use that space. So, and then when we shared, it formed togetherness. It's like, so today we have technology, which is absolutely wonderful, but people are losing that connection of speaking to each other. So this brings you together to share. And when we all gathered around the table, we were fighting for airtime because we all wanted to share our story, and we discovered and learned things about each other that we didn't know. And like my mother, every morning when I came down, was in the kitchen already prim and proper. And I'm thinking, wow, how did she do that? Well, after writing this and sharing this, I discovered that that wasn't true. She didn't do that till we were all gone for school. And then she would go and use it. And it's like, you know, just a little tidbit of information that, like, wow, that really touched my heart, because here I thought she had it all together before we came down, and she didn't. But she, you know, sort of thing. But anyway, so values learned and now I knows are very important, and it creates communication between our family members that share our house now and also with family members that we've lived with forever. So eco-cleaning, what is that? And why does that bring forth joy? So eco-cleaning is about, again, it's about the breathable air, being conscious, eco-conscious about what we do. I share with you so much information in this one chapter. It's like amazing. And for those that don't understand, so maybe you have a child that you want to help and they can read this because it's done with such whimsy and flair that it engages you and you want to do it. So I show you how to clean. How do you do it? What are the basic principles? And again, it's not only the physical act of it, but it's the emotional act of it. And then instead of doing women, semi-annual, annual cleaning, how many, raise your hand, how many of you have done it? How many of you have learned it? Semi-annual, it was a ritual. So now I show you how to do it where you don't have to take that time, because we don't have the time to do that anymore because of lifestyle. So I show you, if you do little things daily, weekly, monthly, when it comes to that semi-annual and annual cleaning, it's like no time at all to be able to do that because you've already done it all along. So you don't need to worry about it. But it's a wonderful chapter. It's a lot of fun, and it brings forth a lot of joy. Eco-conscious design and passion. I already touched a lot on that. So I have a cute blog on it if you want to read it. And it's about inspiration and clarity in this tiny space. And I use that because we all have a powder room. Raise your hand if you have a powder room. Everybody have a powder room? Do you have a powder room? Do you have a powder room? You don't have a powder room? Do you have a bathroom? One bathroom? Okay. You have a powder room? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you have a bath. So in this space, I did. So I searched and searched because color is so important, and so you can have all white walls in your space, or you can have beige walls like this. But when you bring in your personal style, your flair, that's when the expression of who you are within yourself comes forth. And it could be the little things. And when you do accessories, you can bring in the color and change them out anytime because they're little things and move them to another room. But when I was searching, I was like, how do I keep the rhythmic flow going from like one room into another? I remember like some of the homes that I've designed, there's area rugs, right? And every one is a different color. So you go in this room, it's a different color. In this room, it's a different color. In this room, it's a different color. And then the hallway is a different color. And what happens is it chops the space up and makes everything really small. So if you have something like a unity of color and it flows from one space to another, what it does is it totally changes the feeling of the room and it opens it up and it makes it feel more spacious, more inviting. So when I was doing the powder room, I thought, oh, what do I want to do in here and how can I keep the flow going from room to room? So I thought, okay, there'll be a rhythmic balance from each one. Use the same designer, it's okay to do that. And it's okay to use the same paper, but what you could do is you can even just switch out the color. So I found this paper, which is all organic, and I took this and I put it in the powder room, and I did it in one color, and then in the bathroom, I took it in again, but in the blues. And it's so pretty, so there's a rhythmic balance and a flow that goes through. So it was done with consciousness and awareness, and a lot of passion goes in there, and you can feel it when you go into the space. So before you begin, eliminate the clutter feeling. Take out everything that's in the space and start new. Tap into your senses for inspiring ideas. What is it that makes me feel so good that's going to make me want to go into this room? Only you can answer that. And I help you with that to pull out your personal flair. Define your purpose and visualize your transformation, and it'll all come together. And select the greenest of materials. As I said, I have provided for you some of my personal preferences throughout the book. I don't give you a lot, I give you one. So it's just one to guide you along your journey to say, okay, this is one, you can explore that, and then that can lead you to others. Or you can reach out to me and I can help you because I have so many resources. They didn't happen today. It's been a journey. So when I was working with clients many, many years ago, they said, Charisse, but what do I do? What do I buy? And I thought, okay, let me help you. So I started writing lists and helping them along their journey, and I've continued to do so. So my resources are really big, and I can help you if you need help. And then that'll help you with your eco style as well. I help you with window considerations because windows are so important. In bow biology, windows are the eyes of our building. It's what we see. So what you put on your windows matters because they're such a focal point. Just as our walls, they're beautiful. There are these like vertical, massive, essentials in our home, as well as the windows. So what do we put on these windows? You have so many options. If you have architectural detail going on there, you can leave them bare as long as you don't have somebody peering through your window. It depends on where you live. You can do inside mount, a little something for coverage, or outside mount, but I help you with this. And it can be simple. It does not need to be complex. But what it does is it changes the whole feel of that space. How do I feel when I'm in here? How do others feel? What's it like with the natural lighting, with artificial lighting? Then all these elements come into play. So the windows are a lovely consideration. And then what do I breathe? This is one, I have lots of different things, but this is one. And you can take this and just like pump it around your house. You can spray it like this, shake it, spray it. And what it is just purified water, because I have a water filtration system in the house. Here, you can smell. This can go in a powder room, it can go in the kitchen, it can go in your bedroom, it can go anywhere. You can have your own, whatever you choose to do. So what's in here is just water and essential oils. Pick your essential oil of choice. And then also I do I have nice little crystals, and then in there you can put essential oils, and you don't have to wash or clear these crystals. And you don't have to worry about if you choose another essential oil to put on top of that. This takes the place of potpourri. It takes the place of air fresheners that you buy commercially on the market, and it just makes your home smell lovely, and it helps clear the air. So those are some of the things you can do for your home. And there's also something else I have, which is called Molecule, and it's the biggest advancement for indoor air purifiers on the market. And so that's pretty amazing. And also plants. There's certain plants, and I have them listed in here as well, like what plants to put that actually cleanse the air. And it's all based on, that's actually based on science from NASA. So that I can help you, and you can look in here as well if you need to. So you can put plants in there, and there's all different forms of arrangements that you could do. Beautiful things now are wall plants that you can have, and little air plants, things like that. And water consciousness is super important. I learned so much when I was working on this particular chapter. It was amazing what happened. So through all the process, years ago, I gave up all bottled water, the plastic bottled waters, because they're not biodegradable. And what's happening is they're ending up in our oceans and creating huge dumps in the oceans. And I give you sources, and you can, it's a real eye-opener to see what's happening to our Earth, our planet. So the whole purpose here is to protect ourselves, our health, so that we can be vibrant as we age, and then also to protect our furry friends and our Earth. So everything works synergistically together, and it's not hard to do. And I also have listed like annual water events. And then and so here we are, we're taking care of our home. It's a nice, beautiful journey. And then what about us? We can't forget about us. It's so important to take the time to nurture us, to refuel us. So I have lots of little recipes in there. Many were passed down from generations, and then some new nuts is also put in there. One of the things I love are, my salt tiles. So you can take the salt tiles. These are wonderful. I'm sure you've heard of like salt caves and different things like that. These come in different forms. You can actually take these, heat them up in the oven, take them out, and then after you shower, have them ready to go because they're nice and warm. And you can put your feet on these, make sure they're the right temperature for you, and detox. So just like sit there in your nice fluffy robe, have a glass of water, put an essential oil in it. I only use one kind, which is Young Living. I've done the research many years ago, and it's all organic, and you can ingest it and it won't hurt you. And my favorite is orange. Love orange. So that's what I put in my water. That's it. So sit there and use your tiles. And what else can I share with you? There's so many things. So, and I also have like lots of transformation. What can I take and transform it into something else? And I didn't take anything with me, but I happen to have this because this is what I use for my cords. And you can just use like ribbons or whatever that you have. So before recycling and repurpose became a thing, and we had no money, I would save all the ribbons, all the bows, all the packaging, and yes, I repurposed gifts, or is that what? Yeah, I was one of them. I still do, and because it's new and somebody could use it, and I can't use it, they can use it. So anyway, I have these little doggy bags, and these bows are on the doggy bags. So I take the bows off. And instead of throwing them away, I take it, and then I do I have a cord up here? Yeah, so here we go. So instead of using the little wire ones that they show you, that everything comes with, you just take this like this. It makes such a huge difference in your drawers, especially in the kitchen. So you just take this like this. So now I use this for all of my cords. You just hold it with a finger, wrap it around, and I don't knot it because then it would be hard to take off. Here we go. So, and you can use ribbons that you already have, but I have like lots of different things in there that you can use just to transform one thing and use it for something else. And do all things with love. Do all things with love. So I know that was just kind of quick and going through everything. Thank you for being here. And questions? Any questions? Anything I can help you with? Anything? So one thing is on the water thing, to make sure, one thing I highly encourage you to do is to check your water. Just have it tested, and I give you a resource in here, and you can do some research on your own with this and say, oh, okay, this is what I think. Does my water have an odor? Does it have this? Does it have that? And then it'll tell you where to go and do some research on that. And then if you feel as though you have an issue, I would highly suggest to hire someone to come in and take a look at your water. It's really important to have a nice filtration system. And they have like the 10-stage water filtration systems that you can purchase anywhere. They're really good. But if you want something for a whole house, that's a little bit different. But I highly encourage you, like where you use most of your water for drinking, is to have some type of filtration system there. Okay, so that's on your water. Anything else? Anything? Any questions?
So what it sounds like you're doing is a lot of like physical elements in your home to make the energies. Do you do anything yourself, practice with any of the like energies in the room, clearing energies like that in your room? Like,
Yeah, good
I know
question.
you tap in corners.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
just curious.
Yes, good question. Thank you. Yes, so I actually do saging. I do clearings, and I have lots of nice little instruments to use. But one of the things I do is the clearing, and there's a whole process to do it. There's 2 times a day to do it, from 11 to 1, whether it's AM or PM. And you always start outside your front door. Take off all your jewelry. I do it in my bare feet. I do minimalist with anything on me. And then, so you enter at the front and you go to the furthest room in your house and you start to do your clearing there. And what you should I suggest to do is to always go from left. So you enter a room and then you go always from left, go around to right. And it's not just about going to the center of the room. So you want to clear the entryway and then go around and do around the windows and do around the furniture and get around the little areas. And then I have little sayings and little things I do symbolically as well. And then take all that energy, go through the house, and then I come back in, and when I'm finished, and open all of the windows, and then I create some energy to bring in fresh and new. And it's always different. It depends on the purpose of why I'm doing the clearing for a particular occupant. So yes, yeah. Any other questions?
So you have various different suggestions. It's not just how to do the room.
No.
It's product.
Everything that you need to know. It's fun, it's whimsy. I have quizzes, fun quizzes like get up, hop, skip, run, jump to the room and do your little thing. So how to dress, put on the certain genre, make time for you because you have value, and don't let anything else come in the way of what you plan to do. And then go and do it. And then there's lists that you do, and I provide you with eco-conscious reference lists, shopping lists, resources, global resources, some local ones that apply to what we're discussing.
I know. Do you have any suggestions in there? I have tile floors, but like in my hallways, my foyer and my hallway, I have throw rugs, or there's another name for them too. And some
Area
of them-
rugs?
Yeah, and some of them actually have a rubber backing on them, but they still slide, and it drives me bananas. So do you have anything that really could adhere to the tile floor without hurting them? Is there anything that you can remember that you have come across?
Well, tile is such a nice material that whatever you put on there, you can get it off. One of the things, I will mention something, but one of the things is lemon essential oil will go in and take that off. So you can get like a tape, a double-faced tape, and put something like that down to secure it. Not all the way around, like you don't have to do that all the way around. And I would do the corners, yes. And that'll keep it so it's positioned.
Heavy duty double.
Yeah, and it won't move. And then when you go to remove that, just take the essentials and go in and clean it, and it'll come off. Yes, did everyone hear that? Yes, okay. Any other questions? Yes.
What kind of cleaning, you said you only use a couple of different cleaning things, what type of cleaning?
Yes, okay. So I only use 2 different cleaning. I use 2 cleaning items. She wants to know what I use. So the one is creamy grit that I packaged and put together. And it's creamy grit, like a soft scrub, and you can use it on everything. And it's in a little jar, but I give you the recipe. You can do it on your own as well. And then the other one is Thieves, and it's concentrated. It's in a bottle, and you just dilute that. And then to do my windows, I dilute that even more so that they don't streak. But I can't mention Thieves in my book. So yeah, I've been working with Young Living since early 2000, but I can't.
Young Living is a very, very good product.
It's very good. It's organic, and they're just good people, good products as well.
Can you use both of those products, say, unbranded or?
Yes, you can use it on everything. So the 2 products you can use on hardwood floors. My little puppy girls sometimes, do their little thing. And I have area rugs that are wool and different materials. And I actually have sprayed it on, and it's removed the scent and removed the stain. That's for your floors, your countertops, little stains, big stains. And I use these products as well to clean the interior of my car because, again, I'm in this small cabin and I'm breathing in the air. So again, what are you breathing? So when I have my car cleaned, I bring my products as well and my rags because everything's cleaned without the chemicals because we're breathing it in. And then so if you get that headache, or you get that tightness, or I don't feel good, or you're foggy, and it's like, where did this come from? Think about, what did I wash my hair with? What did I breathe in the shower? What is in my car? And all of these things have an impact, and it depends on one's sensitivity.
I do have a question relating to what you're talking about. If you are in an office where you have a feeling that, you know, there's mold or something, like you don't feel that good when you're there, you know, you can't really put your finger on it, then when you go home, you feel much better.
Yes.
I really, and other people, like I cough in my office a lot, I think there's something in the air.
Yeah.
So what would you recommend in that type of situation?
Okay, so I would bring in, if you can, I've had other people do this, it depends on the location and what's acceptable, but I would take in a little diffuser and put it on one that's controllable if you can. We can talk about that. And then I would diffuse thieves for 72 hours in there. See if you can find the source of the mold. Where is it coming from?
I don't think that's what
Okay, then I would do that. Just take that into your space, and I would also apply some essentials to yourself as well. Okay, so we can talk about that. I work with Young Living, and I'd love you to be on my team, be part of my team. So 909020, and you can find me. It's Healthy Living with Charisse Marei. So it's just what I do, and I can help you.
I'm sorry, what did you say, the 909, what is that?
909020, that's me. I'm a number. Me.
From
For Young Living. Yeah, and then this way I can help you with anything. Any other questions? Anybody? So thank you so much. I appreciate your time for coming out. You can stop by my table. If you want to buy any books, I have some here as well. And happy goodness. Thank you.